here. Spotlight.
So
I'm going to mute everybody here.
Oh, Otto, just a moment. I just
Uh-huh.
have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
I don't understand why I feel like I'm trembling all over, you know, like I guess I'm cold or whatever it is. And it takes me a moment to disengage. Is there something I can do before? It's like
you can wear warm enough clothing that you're very, very warm. That's one. And
I'm just able to stop, you know, and I'm usually don't have this tremor, but it's always like this before I start, and I'm not sure why. Anyway.
Yeah, well, maybe we'll talk about that at the end.
Yes.
All righty. And notice if our practice doesn't help it, right? It will probably assist with that. All right. So muting everyone now. So again, we are arranging the structure in such a way that we can let go of the grabbing and holding that's normally being done in the shoulders, neck and head, back muscles, chest area. We're often sort of grabbing on and trying to keep ourselves upright versus relaxing and then arranging everything. So then you have the two poles of the battery, the positive end, and then way underneath here, that negative end of the battery. So arrange those two, and those create what's known as the Chongmai in Qigong, or the Sushumna Nadi in yoga. It's just the central channel of the body, right? So arranging that, and then close the eyes. And notice how when you close your eyes, your perceptive ability does not go away, but rather it turns around and it pours inward like you just took a spotlight and turned it around and shined it into your own mind and body. You may notice more of what's going on, right? Similar to what Michelle just talked about. Maybe you notice a little shaking or tremoring, or maybe you notice some area that you're grabbing a hold of that you can now soften and relax. Maybe you notice somewhere that's maybe a little too relaxed and you're slumped. And so you can add a little effort to place it in good alignment and then relax it. You can also now notice breathing, right? We are all breathing, but often we are breathing in a sort of imbalanced and haphazard way. So start to just organize your breath very subtly. Watch your inhale, watch your exhale. Just notice how your body's breathing. Maybe it's a little bit shallow, maybe it's sort of, uneven. But over the next 15, 20 breaths that we're going to take, work in the direction of smoothing out the inhale, smoothing out the exhale, so that they start to equal each other to some degree. Maybe it's 3-second inhale, a little pause, and then 3-second exhale, pause, or maybe it's 5 seconds, 7 seconds, 10 seconds. Certain yogi masters could do a 2-minute inhale, a 2-minute pause, a 2-minute exhale, and a 2-minute pause. So let's have that as our general goal over time, but we're not going to force it. But just think 7-8 seconds, pause. Smoothly exhaling, feeling that relaxed quality, that almost like a sloughing off of tension that every exhale comes with. Then that inhale, what's really wonderful about an inhale, it's expanding you. It's almost like chiropractic work from the inside of you, pushing out, holding. And then the exhale, that sloughing off, that releasing of tension. That's the 2-part breath. Continue with that, where you're just inhaling to its maximum, a momentary pause, exhaling smoothly out, momentary pause. Take about 5, 6 more 2-part breaths. If you can, nasal breathing on the inhale, mouth breathing on the exhale, or nasal breathing on the exhale. But do get that nasal breathing inhale as soon as you can. And then notice now how the 2-part breath can naturally become 4-part breath, which is on your next inhale, drink in that breath, hold the breath maybe 3 seconds, maybe 5 seconds, then smooth exhale, squeeze out the last bits of breath there and hold the breath empty. So use a little effort to hold out the breath, create a little vacuum. Then open the valve when you're ready and allow that breath in. Inhale is the first part. Holding the breath is the second. Exhaling is the third part. Holding the breath empty is that 4th part we normally miss. Then the inhale again. So let's just do a final 8 breaths of 4-part breathing at your own rhythm, your own pace. Noticing how this attention to breath networks your mind and body together. The breath is this bridge. Notice how if you've really attended to your breath in this way, you have, maybe you're feeling this, you have slowed down your experience of time or the moment. Rather than the moment feeling like it's just going and going fast like it can, you're actually reclaiming the present moment. Not being in the future, not being off in the past, you are in the present with your physical body, your current breath, and your attentiveness is here and now, what they call the 3 treasures in Tai Chi and Qigong in Chinese medicine: mind, breath, body. Gently open the eyes. Let's go right into our spinal movements. Slide the hands onto your knees here. Now, slide hands just a little bit forward and past your kneecaps and lock the elbows and drop the head and round the back. So notice how you're opening all the back channels. Do the exact opposite. Slide the hands back, pull your elbows behind you a bit, crack a walnut with your shoulder blades, look up and lift the chest, arch the back. Let's do that twice more. Softly sliding the hands forward and rounding. 24 vertebrae, 5 in the low back, 12 in the thoracic middle back, 7 in the neck. Try to get a little bit of mobility as you slide the hands back, lift the chest. Get a little bit of mobility at each of these vertebrae. Let's do it one more time. This is called spinal flexion and extension. If you've ever done yoga, this is your cat-cow type movement. This helps to limber up what they call the heavenly pillar, the vertebral central line. Now we settle to the middle. The spine can not only flex and extend like we just did, but it can rotate. Take your left hand onto your right knee, slide your right hand up to your right buttock here, and then just turn the shoulders and the head to your right. And just like you're wringing out a rag, don't go too far, but just wring it out a little bit to one direction And then relax that effort and turn back to center. And let's take it the other way. Right hand to left knee, left hand to left buttock, and bring it out. We're just going to do one more to each side. Back to center. Inhale. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist. Inhale, center. And exhale, stay there and let your arms hang by your side. Now, the last thing the spine will do is side bend. So ear as if dropping towards shoulder, then leaning over like you're just taking your right hand down a little closer to the floor, and let your left elbow float up. Maybe let the left hand float up and create this little side lean. And then droop that left hand and come back. Droop your way to center, and let's go the other way. Drop the head softly. Let the spine gently lean. And then float that right elbow, possibly that right hand up. Oh, just getting that little spinal movement there. And then droop the hand, and let's come back to center. One more each way. And this movement's really important because when else do we do this, right? We don't reach up to go grab our teacup this way, right? Or our coffee cup. So the spine, even though it's built to move like this, lateral bending, lateral flexion and extension, often it's not doing it enough in our lives. So just consider that idea. And now we're back to center. Now we go to the shoulder blades. Shrug it up to the ear. So now the rib cage is stable, the head is stable, the sliding up of the shoulder blade. And then the sliding, melting down. Let's go left side. Slide it up. Slide it down. Both. Slide them both up. Slide them both down. Slide them both up. And slide them both down. Now this one's a little bit weird. Bring your legs close together so that you can, it's like you sink your chest back, but at the same time, you're taking these shoulder blades away from center, away from the spine. It's called protraction, and your arms internally rotate, like you're turning your palms to face out. Now release that effort, come back to neutral, your crown floating up. And then we do the opposite. Crack a walnut behind you in your shoulder blades, lift the chest, turn the arms, palms out. And then settle back again to neutral. Let's do that again. Chest sinks back, shoulder blades slide around the side of the body. And then release that, slide to neutral, and slide. So these are the front and back movements of the shoulder blades. Now we put all that together for circles of the shoulder blades. So let them come forward, then shrug them up. Then slide them back like you're cracking that walnut, and then let them just slide down your back and return to neutral. Again, forward and up, back and down. Forward and up and over the top, back and sliding down. One more. Now we reverse that. Go back and up, roll over the top. This one's always a little funny, a little weird, but once you get it, it flows really nicely. So we're sliding them back, and then we're floating them up. And the arms have to do this kind of funny movement to stay along with us for the ride, but make sure every time you let them go to totally soft, totally relaxed. Two more. Up and over and down. One more. Back, up and over and down. All right, so that's the shoulder blade movement. Now we take legs back to step wide, take left hand onto right knee, and let's lean over and dangle the arm. So by leaning, the arm is hanging like a pendulum in space. Now we draw a circle on the floor with the movement of the arm, but keep it soft and relaxed. You're getting a circle at the humerus, the glenohumeral joint, which is where the humerus bone, upper arm bone, plugs into the shoulder blade. Feel that joint. Can your mind be there and actually feel that circle? Let the circle get a little bigger. And then if it's feeling pretty comfortable, sit upright again. And now with that same softness, draw the circle. Notice my arm goes far forward, not super high, and definitely not super far behind, just a little bit. So I'm not cranking it back, but it goes quite a bit in front and then softly just a little bit behind. Quite a bit in front and softly behind. So not cranking the joints. Last one. And release. Now we do it the other way. So lean over, dangle, circle in the other direction. For me, that's what I would call an inward circle, right? Because I'm going in, in, in. Keep that flowing. And then make it a little larger. And then if it feels comfortable in the shoulder, then you would sit up and draw that circle. Same thing. It doesn't go too far behind, but it goes nice in front. Not too far behind, but pretty far in front. Last one. And let it dangle. Switch sides. Right hand on left knee for stability. Dangle and circle. Just notice what direction you're choosing to circle so that next time you'll do the other circle. Make that circle a little larger. Remember, the quality of softness is key. And then if it felt good on the other side, see if it feels good on this side. But remember, don't go too far behind the body. You can go quite a bit in front, not too far behind. A little bit behind, but not too far. Circles, circles. One more. And switch directions. So whatever the other direction is. Other direction. Draw that circle. And sitting up. Soft. Soft. Qualitative training rather than let's do a million of these. It's just soft, controlled, and then just let it release and hang. All right. So now folding at the elbow crease, just as soft and easy as you can. And then release back down. So just see if you can, just with the mind, just tell your hand to bend at the elbow and come down. You don't have to, effort it. You don't have to add any tension anywhere else in the body. It's just easy peasy, right? Now, elbows are nice and open and soft. This one's a little tricky. Let the elbows sort of flare out to the sides as you bring the hands up. Look how close the hands are to the body and down. So this is another pathway. You just float them up. And notice there's no excess tension required here. Just float and lower. Blazing pathways. Now, float up, keep the wrists soft and relaxed, and unfurl the arms forward. Then sweep down alongside you. Let them swing. Again, float up, out, and then here's where we and let them swing until they come completely still. And then floating, out, unfurl, just letting this shoulder space be soft and open. Last one. All right. Bending elbows and hover here with the palms facing up. We turn the palms face down, up, down, up. Now we're going to add to this one here. With palms up, take the arms open like that. And notice this is an external rotation of the arm bone. And then turn so the arms point in, the elbows go out. This is internal rotation. So let's do that a couple of times. Now we're going to combine this change in this upper arm bone with the forearm work. Now from here, open, the hands come up, palms turn over, and then we softly come down in front. So now we're in this internally rotated position and we're down. Now float the hands up, roll them open, and open here in the shoulder space and settle the arms down. So there's actually almost like heavy elbows, heavy wrists, then come up, over the top, down in front. See if you can get this flow. And see if you can get it to feel like it finishes through to the fingertips. You're getting forearm, what's called pronation and supination, turning palms up, turning palms down, but we're now getting it to really complete all the way through this movement. And last one. And bring your hands closer together. Now fold. Wrists in, fingers point in. Drop the hands through and then point fingers forward. Spin, palms up. Fold. Through. Spin. Fold and through. Now once you can, get out of the way and just circle. And then if you can add, as you take fingers out, straighten your arms. As you spin and fold in, bend the elbows, bring them in. So now we're getting this spiral all the way through the shoulders. Now you can lean back, lean forward. So now you're starting to feel this surge through the tissues. So we have to learn some isolated movements so that our brain and body are connected, but then we get to put them together in these very beautiful and nourishing movements. Now pause, we do the other way. Spin the palms so they point out, drop and point in, and then like an offering out in front. Spin, and then sweep through and out. Spin, sweep through and out. Now, can that flow a bit? Get out of the way. Out of the way. Same thing, can you go out straight, in, out, in, out. In, so we're just wringing out the spirals of the tissue and how our body is built in the upper body here. And last one, and release. Good. Now, one hand up, shake, 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 shake. And down. And then both. And release. Now this is called shoboom, or sinking chi to the belly. So the narrative is we just let our chi out to play, to work through some pathways, to get some work done. But then we remind it that its home is deep in here in the gut, the second brain, the undifferentiated life force down here where we absorb it and store it. And so we're just pausing a moment and saying, oh yeah, that's the home. We don't want to exhaust ourselves, but we don't want to be stagnant either. So we let it out to play and then return, and let it out to play and return. And so that's the yin yang narrative. All right, and release. Now scoot to the back of your chair. Hands up like you're a boxer. Chamber, bring the right knee up and the heel pulls in towards the buttock. So it's this coiling of a spring, and then set it down and shift your weight to that buttock. Chamber. Down, chamber. Down, chamber. Down, chamber. Now push. Chamber, down, chamber, push. Chamber, down, chamber, push. Chamber, down, chamber, push. Chamber down. Last one, chamber push and hold. Point, flex, point, flex. Keep doing it, thorough. Then what's called evert, invert, a little in, out, in, out, in. Remember, you're networking brain to body. Then inward circle, outward circle, other way. And set that foot down, switch, chamber push, point, flex, point, flex. Even though you can't see it in my shoe, I'm also finishing through my toes. I'm clenching, spreading, clenching, spreading. See if your brain can connect to each of those toes. Then evert, invert. Inward circle. Scooping through, scooping through. and outward circle, scooping through. Cleaning the brain pathway, like there's plaque, right? And we're cleaning the physical, but as well as the brain and nervous system plaque. Cleaning it out, and then down. Scoot back to the front edge, all the way forward on your chair. The hip sockets are ball and socket joints built for rotation, so we do that. Lift the left ball of foot, externally rotate. Feel in the ball and socket how that feels good, wringing it out. Lift the heel, swivel, ring it in. Lift ball of foot, ring it out. Lift heel, ring it in. Last one, hold. And then in, lift heel, out. Lift toe, in, lift heel, out. And let's go out again. Walk it out. Swivel steps. One more. Hold here. Slide the hands out. Press to get that extra stretch. And then rub that inner left thigh out to the knee. Any pain in the knee? And let's walk it in. Internal lift, heel, external. Internal, external, and neutral. Other leg, walk it out. Move from the ball and socket joint. Out, walk it in. One mistake that people often make with this is they move the foot, but the knee, like they do something like this with the foot, and the knee doesn't go along for the ride. So that's why it's got to be from the hip, from the hip. So the knee is moving because I'm moving from the hip. Last one, hold it there, press open. And then rub that inner right thigh out to the knee. Use your thumb to get any little sore spots there. And then walk it in. And we're neutral. All righty. Now, the legs are now stable. Fold at the hips. Bowing. Hinging deeply at the hips. So we're moving from the same joint that we were just moving from, where the hips were stable and the legs were moving. Now we're switching that in our brain. We're going, okay, the legs aren't moving, but my pelvis is folding over those leg bones and moving at the hip sockets. This is very good for many different reasons. There's often tension in the groin. There's lymph nodes in here. So folding like this is very healthy. It's good for just the general organ health of the area. And we're back up. Now we add to that. Watch me for this, please. Lift chest and chin. So now I'm doing a soft back bend. I'm now folding while I'm in a back bend. Keep watching, and then I round and release. Now keep watching. I stay rounded as I come up. Now my hips are the moving part. I'm rounded as I come up. And then as I get to the top, I let like a wave go through the spine up. And then I'm folding. So go ahead and join me now. It's called shaking loose the heavenly pillar. So we've loosened up the hips, which is the root, so that we're moving from the right place. And then over time, you're trying to work on this feeling of your spine being sort of light and fluid, right? So rather than it becoming frigid, frozen, stuck, you want to be feeling this undulation. All right, and on this last one, come all the way up. And sometimes that yields a little bit of lightheadedness. Sometimes that's the good kind of lightheadedness where you've shaken loose some barnacles and stuck spots and life force flows a little better. Your nerve electricity extends a little better. So that can be very, very positive for you. All righty, now the next one here, step wide. We turn our arms into this little position here, kind of like a Komodo dragon, if you've ever seen them. And we fold right down through the middle here and see how far in there you can get, and then rise back up and even lean a little bit back. So notice the opportunity for this. The arms turned into this position, and because the legs are open, you can actually fold the hips further between and then drop the rib cage and head and neck lower than the shoulder blades and arms. So what that does, it kind of squeezes the back, right? So in a good way. So we're dropping and we're sort of craning ourselves a little deeper here, loosening up some of that tension in the shoulder blades, mid back and neck. And then we're rising back up. Take that twice more. So hips hinging deeply over the, in between the leg bones. And we're back up. And one more. And we rise. Bring the legs closer together. Now, some of you I know have some shoulder issues where you can't do this next one. So just do the amount of it that feels good. Others, float the arms up to a T position. Turn your arms, palms up. Reach. Now, once you get to this reach here, you're going to reach your right arm a little higher than the left. The way you do that is upward rotation of shoulder blade, and there'll be a natural little bit of a lean. So allow that. Then do the other side. So you soften the right and reach with the left. And then reach with the right. And this is just a way of getting those last little nooks, crannies, little sponge spots that need to be wrung out in the neck, shoulder blade, connection. One more to the left. And then from here, reach both at the same time. Try to get that extra ½ inch of reach. And then sweep. And hold there for a moment. And just feel, especially as you practice over time, this sort of wringing out of all this muck around the neck. And you can feel a sort of lightness if you clean that area out, that a lot of people have closed off. So now we do one other version similar. Arms come forward, palms face each other. They keep going. So this is asking our shoulder blades to do an interesting upward rotation. So keep going and feel those shoulder blades. And then lift the chest. Lift your gaze, chin up. And now it's like a back bend. Think arching the back, opening the front. One more inhale. And reverse. All the way. And then sink chi to the belly one more time. Hands just hovering out in front of the belly as a reminder, sort of like magnetically bringing our attention and life force back to this undifferentiated storage container of the gut, the belly, the second brain. All right, so now arms hang by your side. Bring your feet just a little bit behind your knees. Now we fold at the hips like we did a moment ago. The head goes past the toes and then push through the earth to rise. Now when you arrive at standing, try to feel letting go of the arms, releasing the tissue tension through the body, and easy, right? Then folding at the hips. Notice I haven't bent my knees. I push the butt back first. The head and shoulders come forward. Then sitting the butt down bends the knees. So the knees do not vector forward and hurt the knees. And then we sit back and find ease again. Let's do 3 more like that. So it's folding, gesturing forward to get off the chair, and then push straight through the earth. And notice like a rocket ship, straight up through the crown of the head. Find ease. Then the butt goes back, sink, and ease. 2 more. Maybe you just flow with ease. And then flow. So when you practice Tai Chi and Qigong, over time, you get out of the way. You stop being in your own way, fighting and trying so hard when we could just flow with the movement. Now let's do 4 where we don't hit the chair. We don't sit in the chair, but we just fold, sink nice and low and hover, and then rise. 3 more. Squatting and rising. 2 more. Squatting and rising. Last one. Squat and hold the squat. So this teaches us isometric contraction. Feel the muscles of your legs, buttocks, back toned to keep you there, and feel that quote unquote pain as a charge that's building in the tissues around the bones, like electrical chi charge. And then let's push through the earth, rise, and let that chi charge circulate through the body. Now that we are standing, I'm going to move my chair. You keep your chair where it is, standing comfortably. Tai Chi Squat. So that was a clear squat, right? We stick our butt out. For the Tai Chi Squat, it's just open the knees slightly and sink the tail as if there is a chain tied to the tail with a weight on it, and it's just sinking a little bit. And then rising. Do that a few times. Just sink a tiny bit. Feel the legs like a spring that's loading and then unloading. Loading and unloading. This is where we do our exercise called billowing clouds. Loading, the hands come down in a sort of gentle scoop of the cloud. Then as you rise, the hands rise up and just go in a little circle. And then sink and go gather some more clouds gently. The image of clouds is wonderful because it's like you'd have to have very soft hands to play with clouds, right? You can't be grabbing clouds with sort of violent hands. So it's nice and soft. But we're also timing everything together, the sink and gather, the rise and float. Sink and gather, rise and float. Now just sink and stay softly sunken. Rising hands. Back of hands as if you are painting the wall in front of you with the back of your hand. Rise. Then painting with your fingertips. Back down. And let the arms go behind you a little bit. Then again, painting and painting. Time that with the legs. As you paint on your way up, straighten the legs a little bit. As you paint on the way down, bend knees a little bit. Crane flaps wings. Notice hands are slightly in front in this little circle, this soft circle, right? Crane, open. Notice when I went up, my hands are still soft. There's a roundness. And also if I turn sideways, notice my hands are in front of the body a little bit rather than cranked back here. They're here. That's an important piece to the biomechanics of the body. And then, like a crane's wings. Crane wing. Crane wing. With the legs. Crane wing rising slightly. Crane wing sinking slightly. Very slight, very subtle. Gather this, or cultivate this subtle control of the body. So it's not large, sort of clumsy movements, but over time it's just this super subtle. Now, the dragon swims up. Hands scoop in like this. So the back of the hands face each other. Then as the hands come up, the elbows come close to each other. And then swimming up and out to the crane wing, and then down just like crane wings. So we sink into the legs just a bit to gather and scoop. And then as we swim up, we're straightening the legs Over time, you can even lift the heels just a bit off the ground and then sweep out and down. So if lifting the heels feels unsafe, don't do it. But if you want to play with it, it could just be feel lighter on the heels. So we're swimming up, just feel lighter on the heels, maybe even lift and feel that satisfying completion. One more. The dragon swims towards the heavens. And down. Now, float the arms out. Rotate so the palms face up. Fold at the elbows, the hands come in close. And then settle, settle, settle through. So this is where we learn what's called the roll fold. So crane wing right at the top, roll, fold, and eventually you want the roll fold to be one thing. So instead of rolling and then folding, we go up and then it's roll fold. And over time you can feel that that's just a beautiful pathway that's wide open for you to move this easy, so easy. And down. Now we put all that together for Embrace the Moon. Wings. Left hand is like a wing coming down. Right hand roll fold. Embrace Moon. So a big round moon. Then reverse. That right hand goes out. Left hand floats up like a wing. They meet at wing height. Then left hand roll fold. Right hand sweep under. Embrace. Time it with the legs if you can. Legs straighten slightly, arms going out, and then roll fold, everything sinks. Straighten slightly, and reverse. Once more out to the wings, and then both arms sweeping down. Now, let the body weight arrange itself more over the right leg. Then back to the middle, 50-50. Then arrange yourself more over the left leg. Now notice what changes in the legs. This is important. It's called separating yin and yang, or empty and full. And you want to feel a clear differential. So notice, go over to one leg and let that little subtle bend of knee happen, very subtle. And feel how that leg becomes this support, and then this other one is open. It's spacious. You might even try and shake it a little bit in the hip. And then let's change. Shift. Arrange yourself over that other leg, and notice the other foot light enough to swivel slightly. So we're changing. This is where people get in trouble as they age, or if they have any sort of brain body issues turn on, they lose this differential. So then if we're not having this differential and we're trying to walk, we're now clumsily sort of moving, and if we run into something or we trip on something, it's a big deal. But if you can get to one leg, empty the other, now you've got yourself this opportunity to step upstairs, to step over an obstacle, and to walk. Now, shift to your right leg, stay there, and your belly button, turn from the belly button. Everything else is relaxed, just turn your belly button to the right a little bit. So you're slightly angled to the corner. Stay angled to that corner as you shift to the left leg. Then turn and angle yourself to the left corner. Then stay angled to the left corner as you shift and turn to the right corner. And then shift and turn to the left corner. Notice how that has a lovely flow to it. Shift, turn. Shift and turn. We've done all this work in the shoulders and elbows and wrists and fingers to create a nice fluidity and buoyancy. So now, naturally, if you let it happen, with the shift and turn, you'll start doing what's called the bear washes paws in the stream. So this means, I'll turn sideways so you can see it, the hands stay very close to the body, and they just kind of swirl the water that's right around your legs, about waist deep water, and you're just swirling. and swirling. So the bear washes paws in the stream. The next step up from this is the bear swirls the stream. So what happens is this left hand now that's back, it comes out and around like a big bear paw, and it circles. And then it comes close into the body as the other hand goes out away from the body. So you see if I turn sideways, now it's out here, and it swirls the water. And then swirls the water. Notice, can you do this with this bear-like quality, which is if you just ever seen a bear, it's like they lumber, they sort of lope around. And you're working on changing weight and turning from the belly button. Changing weight, turning from the belly button. Now the bear slashes. The hand comes up around chest, shoulder height and slashes across. And then comes in close to the body, the other hand. Now this will naturally become what's called brush, knee, and push. So on this next one, we slash across, then let the right hand come up high enough that then you roll fold. Now we're ready for shift left, turn left, brush knee, which is the bear in the stream, and then this is just a gentle push across. Then the hands change, crane wing the left, roll fold. Shift and turn, brush knee and push. Brush knee and push. Brush knee and push. So let's try just that continuum again. Bear paws in the stream, couple. Notice when the momentum of the movement becomes the bear swirls the stream, bigger circles. Naturally, that will become the bear slash. And that will naturally become brush, knee, and push. Roll fold. Roll fold. Smooth, buttery, at ease. Now, stay over in the left leg. Bring the right foot just a smidgen behind you, toes turned out. Right hand rests down. Left hand bend at the elbow, point fingers up, and shift your weight into your right leg, filling up right, emptying left to the point you could get on your tippy toe. Maybe lift the foot, possibly chamber. Set that foot down, toes turned out. As you change legs, left hand goes down, right elbow bends, right fingertips point up. Touch the floor with the toe, lift it, or chamber. Now, when you set the foot down, emptiness is key. Land it empty. Change. Hands. Weight. Toe touch or lift. Set it down empty. That's the trick. Notice how that doesn't happen naturally. You have to remember, oh yeah, put it down, then wait for it, and then go all together now. Rooster stands on one leg. The golden rooster. Set the foot down empty. Golden rooster. So it's a flow. Set it down empty. This one eventually is done walking backwards. Now set this foot down. Parallel your feet. Bear washes paws. Hands play with clouds, not billowing clouds, different. So now the right hand sweeps the lake and rises up like vapor and becomes a cloud. The left hand stays in the lake like a bear paw. Shift and turn the belly button. Top hand is a cloud, bottom hand sweeps the lake. And then the top hand rains down and the bottom hand vapors up. Now we got cloud and lake, shift and turn. Vapor rain. cloud and lake, vapor rain, cloud and lake. Adding a challenge, if you're comfortable with this, empty right foot comes in, back out, and then shift. So as you vapor rain, foot in, out. Because eventually we do this walking, in, out, change, in, out, shift. So feel that flow. Feel this whole body as one. Last one. Right hand comes down, bear in the stream. Sink chi to the belly, what's known as shogun. Settle, settle, settle. Everything that was out playing remembers where its home is. Stillness, rest, nourished. Hands crossed slightly. Now we're working on this new move called the parting of the wild horse's mane. Way we learn it. Left hand under, right hand over, like you're holding a ball. And pass. Oh wait, I forgot our first step. Sorry about that. That's the second step. So first step here, the bear across. Now right hand goes behind the back, so we take it out of the play. Left hand becomes the bottom of that ball. Now the left hand, so we're shifted to the right and turn to the right. The left hand, watch how I move mine away from my body. So I'm not sweeping it this way like a wing. It's going away from the body. And then as I shift and turn, it goes at a flying diagonal line up to this other corner in front here. Then turn the palm out. Now sweep it down like a wing and across the water. Now it's at the bottom of a ball, right? At the bottom of this holding ball. It goes away from the body and then shift turn it. Follows this saber arc, this diagonal sort of up and across line. And crane wing, sweep it back. Let's do that twice more. This is a very interesting experience for your brain, for your shoulder muscles, for the body-mind connection. It's a weird trajectory, right? Where straight lines are easy. This is not a straight line. This is arcing through space. And that's what Tai Chi is full of, these really interesting pathways that the brain enjoys once it gets comfortable with. Now, bear wash paws across. Let's do that to the other side. So other hand, palm facing up. It goes away from the body and up at a diagonal, pausing at the top. Palm turns away, sweeps like a crane wing as you shift and turn back. Then flying diagonal. So this is half of what's known as parting the wild horse's mane. One more. So remember this movement. Keep it in your little mental notebook. Bring the other hand out. Find your way back to the middle. Now, left hand under, right hand over. Now, just have them go in two different directions, but stay with this feeling of connection. And think parting wild horse's mane is between the palms, this gorgeous horse's mane. One hand is under, one hand is over. And that's something that you keep this quality throughout the whole movement. Now take this movement and turn it on its side so that the bottom hand is doing flying diagonal, the top hand is doing this opposite movement, and let it reach its full extension and rewind. Now, part wild horse's mane, we go all the way to that full extension, then turn left palm out, right palm up. Remember, embrace the moon. To a ball. Part wild horse's mane. Turn both palms, one away, one up. shift to your right, turn slightly right. Now, part wild horse mane as you shift and turn and arrive. Turn left palm away, right palm up, and shift back. Turn back. Gather. Part wild horse mane. And reverse. Now, from this ball, let's do a standing bear. Right hand down, left hand turn, bear. Back to the middle. Now, right hand bottom, left hand top. Start with that simple. The reason we start here is just to get the brain orchestrating two opposing movements that are simultaneously moving. The simultaneity, and I don't know if that's a word, but it should be, the simultaneity of movement is what we're really working on in Tai Chi, right? That's what is so challenging. Now turn it on its side so you get this full diagonal, interesting angle for the brain and body. On this next one, let's go for the full experience of express it, then turn the palm out, other palm up, and brace moon. And then part wild horse's mane. Turn the palms and embrace moon as you shift left, turn left, this sort of storing up, gathering, and then express it. Shift right, turn right, part wild horse mane. Turn palms, shift and reverse. And part wild horse mane. Over time, you even practice this with eyes closed to really up the proprioceptive super challenge while you're doing the walking portion as well. So there's all these ways that once we learn our ABCs and our foundation, that you can use it to become like super medicine for the neuromuscular motor centers, body-brain connection, and so on. Now, on this last little challenge here, we're going to change sides each time with a particular transition. So first, all the way to part wild horse mane. Now the left hand sweeps the lake. The right hand falls over top. Now we're holding the ball on this side. Part wild horse mane the other way. Sweep the hand under. Left hand on top. Part wild horse mane. So this is the one where we'd be walking forward with a specific Tai Chi walk. Changing. Parting. One more. Polishing the brain-body connections. Now, make that ball. Left hand around, right hand turn. Back to center. Sink chi to belly. Shogun. Hands come together, rub. Now, if you're feeling imbalanced, you can sit down for this final portion of self-massage or stay standing. Your choice. Rubbing hands. Now rub the back of one hand, palms. Back of other hand, palms. Feel that lovely healing warmth between your palms. Place it over the eyes and front brain. Again, this might be challenging if you're standing and balance is an issue, so be careful. But feel this sort of like a nourishing pour of that chi through the healing hands into the brain and the eyes. And then like you're cleaning a windshield, sweep the hands apart from each other, cleaning that space, and then rub the hands together. The next one here is middle fingers on this little nook, and it goes up to the hairline and down right between the eyes, and the palms are rubbing the cheeks. So it's up, down, up, down, up, down. Then with that same up and down, we go out the eyebrow in the cheekbone. So there's this circle, soft, very soft touch, but we circle the eye socket area, not the eyeball, but the cheekbone and eyebrow. And then switch directions, circle, circle, circle. And then we take our thumbs onto the temples and fold the fingers and just rest the knuckles right on your forehead and soft circles with the thumbs on the temples. Then the thumbs stop moving and the index knuckles open the third eye and the brow. And then we've got tiger claws through the hair and scalp all the way to the back. Do that a few times. It's one of my favorite moves right there. Just sweeping, sweeping. Now, thumbs right into the little base of the skull, rubbing along that ridge line. Then take one palm to the base of the neck, come up, other palm up, sweep, 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 get all the hair out of the way, and then take your other hand and rub the side of the neck down to the base of the neck, and then the back of the neck, and then switch. Side of the neck, base of the neck, back of the neck, and then we come down. Now, if you have any hearing aids in, you'll want to probably limit the ear work that you do. But our first movement in the ear is palm, squish, and come under. Like that, this circle. So do that with both. Then, with scissor fingers, the root of the ear. Then, with scissor cuts, the dish of the ear. And then we do, from the muscles of the jaw, drop the jaw down like that. Say jaw as you rub down all the way down the throat to the collarbone. Two more. Jaw. Another one of my absolute favorites. One more. Jaw. All the way down. Now, collarbones, follow your collarbone out to this little soft point here, the shoulder nook. That is lung point 1 and 2. Make a little fist like this, circle. As you do that, shake the arm out, get any space clear. Then come to what's known as the heart point, outer rib cage. So the armpit's here, it's below and right there, and circle. And you can sort of rake it, right? Make your little tiger claws and just kind of rake the area, the intercostal muscles, heart point. Then come under the chest, up the middle of the chest, and then squeeze, 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 lymph drain to the fingertips. Other side. Lung point 1 and 2. Heart point, rake, rake, rake. Then under the chest, up, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. This is like cleaning the lymph drain space. Rub the hands. Almost done. One hand on the center of the chest, breastbone. Other hand stacked. Up to the top, down to the bottom of the breastbone. So stay on the rib cage. Don't go to your stomach. Then you go to the top, open, down the side ribs, and in, stacked hands again. Up, out, down, in. Again, you want to get a nice circular flow. This also helps the shoulders move in a really interesting way. And then switch directions. In, 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 down. Now we've got liver and spleen, lower front ribs, upper abdominal, and then the solar plexus below the breastbone, upper stomach, circle. It's like the stomach area. Switch, solar plexus. And then the inguinal, so pubic region, groin region. This is an area that's got a lot of lymph nodes, and we want to make sure it's clear. So if you're standing, a really cool thing is you can bounce a little bit. If you're sitting, you can't really do that as much, but bounce a little, bounce a little. Then sacrum and tail, bounce a little, bounce a little. Lumbar, so make fists, knuckles on the back body. Bounce a little, bounce a little. And then the last gesture here, this one you might want to sit down for. It's a little tricky. I'll show it to you. It's hands go down the outer backside, around the feet, and then up the inseam of the legs, past the genital area to the belly button, and then we circle around back to the Mingmen or lumbar and do it twice more. Down, around, up to the belly button, around like a belt to the back. Rub, and through. Down the outer back of the legs, up the inner front. And our final gesture, little tricky sort of brain challenge as well as a good chi challenge. Up the outer to the shoulder, turn the palm down the inner. And we repeat, up, down, up, down. Up the outer, turn the arm down the inner. Switch. And shogun. Hands in front of the belly. Seal the practice. One hand over navel, right at the belly button. Other hand over that. Bow the head softly. Eyes half closed or completely closed. Breathe. Be out of the way. Let this feeling of softness be something you can rely upon. And then we close. Thank you, everybody. So, any questions or comments or concerns, feel free to stick around and chat. Otherwise, I know many of you have places to be, so you can say bye-bye and click out, whatever you need. But any questions, feel free to chat for a bit.
I think the